All right, you're welcome. May Yahweh give you revelation this evening. May He reveal Himself. May He reveal His word. May He give you understanding to what you do not know, to what you've known and forgotten, to what you are yet to know. May He reveal them to you, and may He give you grace to keep them, to do them. Because why He revealed His word to us is that we should do them, and it shall be well with us. So it shall be well with you tonight in the name of Yeshua. Amen. Hallelujah. We continue with our Ezekiel. Today we go to Ezekiel chapter 8. Really want to deal with Ezekiel 8 and 9 tonight. Last week we ended at Ezekiel chapter 7. And it was all about from chapter 5, chapter 6, up to that chapter 7, it was about judgment of His people. And you could hear Yahweh saying, house of Israel, house of Israel. That means the matter didn't start with Judah, the tribe of Judah, because Ezekiel was asked to go and prophesy to Judah, preach to Judah. Already, the time Ezekiel was appointed, he was already in Babylon. He was taken away into Babylon. He was meant to be a priest before Yahweh called him into the office of a prophet. And he began his ministry there. And all we see, most of what we read from Ezekiel was Yahweh taking him back to ancient days and bringing him to what was happening to Judah prior to his moving them out from the land. Then to the point of moving them out of the land. Then Yahweh went also in the past looking at Israel, the ancient Israel, the 10 tribes before they were dispersed. Because they were dispersed many years before Judah got their own dispersal to Babylon. So he also looked at what Israel was doing. Israel was supposed to be the head, so to speak. But somehow they misfired. They left Yahweh, they forsook Yahweh and followed Baal. As we are going to look at what is going on. The whole of the prophets is mainly because once somebody steps into Baal, then the person is off the mark of the covenant. The person will break every part of the covenant. The person will break it. And Yahweh call it wickedness. Wickedness. So we will see how Yahweh, all the way, he looked at all the way to Israel, he looked at, what the ancient of days, ancient people, ancient Israelites, the elderlies, what they did that affected the children. And how at the end of the day, Yahweh looked into the whole of Israel and says, this is their character. This is what they know how to do best. Therefore, they are not worthy to remain in that land. He's going to sack them because that land is meant to be a holy land. So if they are reckoned to be holy, if they are children that Yahweh has, called to himself to be holy as he is holy, and they were polluting themselves, polluting the land and blaspheming his name, even, making him jealous. You know what, to make somebody jealous. When you intentionally, willfully, deviate from what you ought to be doing, you are, pushing to do something else. When maybe you are a servant or you are a worker, and your master or your employer says you do it this way, you continue to do it your own way. What will the master do or the owner do? one day the owner will say, enough is enough. It's time for you to check out from my place of work. So the whole vineyard is the vineyard of Yahweh, and Israelites were doing it their own way, whatever pleases them. Yahweh said, no, you must follow the covenant way. If you don't, you will not remain in the land. So he sacked them, because that land will be holy and must be holy, even in these latter days. That is what is working out, the holiness of the people and the holiness of the land. So he had to drive them away. And he told them, as he was planning to push all of them away, that their end is come. He will always use the word in chapter 7 there, verse 2. Said, the sovereign Yahweh says also, thou son of man, thus says my sovereign Yahweh unto the land of Israel, an end. The end is come upon the four corners of the land. Four corners of the land. That means he was looking at Jerusalem saying this, but even the entire land of house of Israel will one day be grounded, and they will be removed from the sight of Yahweh. And Yahweh was frank to them. Verse 3 said, now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thy abominations. Now, note all these words that Yahweh is using here. Yahweh is saying that he is going to pay them back according to their ways. Ways. Yahweh has way. We have way. So which way is preferable? Which way is the best way? Which way is recommended? Is it Yahweh's way or our own way? Now, Bible talk about covenant. And that is exactly what Yahweh is, telling us that is his way. Follow that covenant way. When Yeshua came, he keyed into the covenant way. And that was what Judah didn't like. The tribe of Judah that he met when he came, they were doing their own way. They were walking in their own ways. And at the end of the day, they got into problem with Yeshua. Yeshua accosted them. They accosted him. They quarreled with him. They threatened him. They said, you are not our Messiah. You are not the one we are looking for, because you preach something different. How could it be? Torah was in their hands. Yeshua had Torah in his hands. Yeshua preached from the Torah. Though Yeshua was the Torah himself, the word of Yahweh. He was the word. But the word that was in their hand was the same Torah. So how come they had Torah and they were preaching something different? Exactly what is happening today. The Christians that share the Bible with us, or that have the same Bible we have, they preach something different. They preach something different. Out of this Bible, you can preach anything you like. That is going your own way. You make up whatever that comes from your head. He said, Yahweh says, Yeshua says, or they are Jesus. Because in the Bible, what they see is Jesus. But in the Bible, what you see is Yeshua. What you see is Yahweh. They see the Lord, God. And this Bible tonight is going to prove to us that these people are worshiping. The Bible calls it image of jealousy or wickedness, abominations. They deduced what they are worshiping. That is their own way. This Bible tonight will prove to us, will show to us that indeed what the Christian Gentiles or Gentile Christians are worshiping are things they made up, their own way. They have chosen their own way to worship things of their own way. And that is why punishment is coming, because Yahweh promised them punishment. The tribe of Judah, the tribe of Israel, they were promised punishment. The same chapter 7 verse 4 there says, and my eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thy abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So they walked in their own ways, and what were they doing? Their own abominations. In that their own way, they have their abominations. That is what the Bible is, chapter 8, we are going to look at now, is calling, or has told us, it is the image of jealousy. It is the image of wickedness. It is, all those kind of different gods and whatever. That is what they followed. The broad way, because therein the image spread itself so much. Anybody can choose anything to worship. Nobody deters you, nobody bothers you, nobody worries. And when you look at them, you want to call it, they say, don't put your eyes. That is my way. I have chosen my way. Don't correct me. And Yahweh is telling them, an end is come. The end is come. It is watched by thee. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. Verse 6 there. And verse 8 there, it continues to say, I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense thee for all thy abominations. Continue to maintain judging them based on their ways. They have walked away from him. They have forsaken him. There is nothing terrible. There is nothing of extraordinary that is more, heinous, evil, wicked, than somebody to walk away from Yahweh. Choose his own way. It is called abomination. Yahweh says it's abomination. Choosing one's own way means one is now holding or worshipping another. And it is the trouble of today. Whether it is in Africa, in Ghana, in Ethiopia, in Nigeria, in Sudan, in wherever part of the world, whether it's in England or United Kingdom or Europe or America, Asia, what you see today is people choosing to worship or follow their own ways. It is called abomination. It must be Yahweh's own way. Yahweh's own way. It is not plural way. Way is way. One way, covenant way. But human beings choose to worship or go their own ways. It is abomination. Yahweh continued to speak. Verse 9 there he said, I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thy abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. He continued to maintain the same thing. Verse 15 there he said, judgment will come by sword, famine, and pestilence. That is the major thing he is going to use to judge Israel. Now, when Yahweh, spoke in this manner in the past, watch out what he's going to do in the present, or even entering the future, what he's going to do. Because it's the same people he's speaking to, the same Israelites that are scattered all over the world. And because Israelites have injected themselves to the Gentile world, and Gentile world has fused themselves with Israel, now the calamity is going to be high. The trouble is going to be high. The payback, the punishment is going to be high. Verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their gold shall be removed. Look at it. Their gold shall be removed. Do you know what he's talking about? Can somebody tell us what that verse 19 is talking about? Let me read it. They shall cast their silver in the streets. Their silver will be cast in the silver. They had their silver and gold. So they will remove them wherever they keep them, and other. They will cast those in the streets. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh, because the wrath of Yahweh is going to come heavily upon them. that, hey, those gold and silver will be useless in their hands. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Now, what do you understand by this saying here? They will cast away their gold, their silver. It will not satisfy their souls, and their bowels, their souls and their bowels will not be satisfied. It will cause a problem for them. So, what is the issue? What is Yahweh talking about here? What is involved here? What is he pointing out here? Did you meet it? Hello? Are you hearing? Is somebody hearing me?
Yeah, we are.
That verse, I want us to understand. Let's follow. If I'm doing the talking alone, the teaching may not penetrate as much. It takes teacher and the students to rub minds together to get understanding, because I'm learning as well. How do you interpret that 19, verse 19 there? We are just doing a preamble of that chapter 7 where we stopped last week.
I just understand it in the way that all the money and all the things they are keeping for themselves, and they think that's what they cherish and worship. But at the wrath of Yahweh, all these things will be useless because it's not going to help them in any way.
That's good interpretation there.
The book of Timothy made mention of the love of money. He says that is the root of all evil. When people love money, not that the money is not good, but they loved it in such a way that they use it against the will of Yahweh.
Now, how is money? How is money the root of money? I mean, money is the root of all evil. How is it evil and at the same time is good for us? And
people have used it wrongly. Is it when you make money when you should not?
At what point? How does money come to be wrong?
We can see people kidnapping now, killing to make money.
Having appetite for money.
Yeah, they have.
That's the love of money you talk about.
Love it, yeah.
So money is loved. Love of money. Money is loved
more than Yahweh.
That's what I want to hear. Money, love of money than Yahweh. Yeah. So that is the issue. That is where money, matter become a serious issue. Now, how does it affect us, and why is Yahweh speaking in this manner? Because chasing money doesn't allow people to read the Bible, or if you like, study the Bible, or you like meditate on the Bible, and it doesn't allow them to comprehend. Because when you want to do it as a ritual ceremony every day, at least you read one chapter or two chapter or three chapter, as they were telling us in the days when we are in Christendom. Say at least read 3 chapters a day in a year, you cover the whole Bible. Read 3 chapters a day in a day. It doesn't go that way, because you will make reading Bible as a novel, as a literature. Oh, my pastor said you read 3 chapters a day, 4 chapters a day, and you meditate every day. Indeed, every day you must read Bible. Every day you must study Bible. Every day you must pay attention to Bible. But when you make it as a way of, a ritual, you must observe in order for you to qualify or continue in your righteousness. It could be trying to prove yourself into righteousness, trying to give yourself a gift of righteousness. And it is dangerous because you may not be committed. But when you have love for Yahweh, you will always search for him. And where do you search Yahweh? In the scriptures, in the Bible, in Torah, in scriptures, in the whole of the testaments or covenant. Old, new is called covenant. So the whole of the Bible must be something that consumes your appetite, something that you want. I mean, the whole of your appetite must go for it every now and then, whether you're in the road, whether you're in the place of work, anywhere, anytime. You want to, because the Holy Spirit will be speaking to you from time to time, and they will be taking you to the scriptures. To open the scripture, to read the scripture. You may be going on your way, something will, crop up, and your mind will go to the scriptures. You want to search it out to see how it, pan out from the scriptures. So that is what Mammon doesn't allow you to do. You wouldn't have time. See, time is affected. Time is affected because it is money. You find time for walk. A little while, you go for leisure, holidays. In this UK, if you don't take your leisure, you do yourself. Now, all this will come into play. You want to enjoy yourself because you got money. You want to make name, fame. You want to be heard. You want to be noticed. You want to be... Remember that whom we are following, our master. Yahweh says that when he touches the earth, he will not seek for his own name. He will not seek fame. He will not seek fame. Isaiah 42, the first 3 verses tells us that. Isaiah 42. He will not seek fame at all. He will not seek recognition. He doesn't anybody's affirmation or witnessing for him in the sense that, you are giving him the accolade, the big name, he is this, he is that, and that. No, it's the Father that elevates, it's the Father that promotes. Now, money becomes dangerous in the sense that somebody's heart is tied to money. One's heart ties to money. Now, what does it mean? In a week, you have 7 days in a week. It's okay. I'm a Sabbath keeper. Let me take 1 day off. So the balance of 6 days, let me work. You have calculated. You must come out with, in that 1 week, you must come out with maybe 1,000 pounds. You must work for it. Every week, you must keep at least plus or minus 800. And it's a priority. And you have marshaled out your priority based on all that you are making. Program yourself in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. You project what you want to do. That will never allow you pay attention to Yahweh. Now, what did Yahweh say? Yeshua said. Yeshua said, you should not so love the money, mammon. Because when you do that, you have put yourself to worshiping. Money becomes something you worship. So if money becomes what you worship instead of Yahweh, that was the reason Yahweh says, Yeshua says, choose between worshiping Yahweh and worshiping mammon. Now, globally, if you look at the whole world today, the best, Sabbath keeper, the best pastor, the best GO, the best whatever, they are after money. Money. It's all about money. even if they are not preaching it in their message. So at the end of the day, one carries the idol called money. It's another issue. That is another issue. In fact, today, apart from the image that we are going to look at in chapter 8 now, another major idol is money. That is what Yahweh is saying here, and you pointed it out rightly, that money, time will come. Look at what he said. If you have read it in between lines, you will see where Yahweh mentioned that they shall not satisfy their souls. When Yahweh will come out with his wrath, because Yahshua had warned what effect of money, loving money, pursuing money, paying attention to money 24 hours, what it will result to somebody who had made it an idol, a common something that the person worship. Yahweh will come with that torturous moments when there will be. Remember, he said he was going to come with. He was going to deal them with what? With what? Sword. With what? Famine. With what? Pestilence. Diseases. Now, sword can come in every manner. The world is getting ready for sword. We see different names, whether they are Boko Haram, whether they are Ashbab, whether they are Islamic, West African, whatever, whether they are, what are those ones in Taliban? All those guys, dangerously dangerous. They are rising, they are preparing. At least I have seen them. They have been revealed to me that they are preparing. Sword will be everywhere. Now, who will it catch? His people. His people. So all the money they are getting, when they are being pursued, these people will ask them, in Nigeria today, ask anybody. These sword carriers, they will kidnap people and ask them to pay ransom before they are released. So their money is being shifted into their hands. All these people are drainers. They will drain their money. The stage is set. It's being set now. The stage of all this is being set. Now, famine will come. When famine will come, water will be scarce. Food will be scarce. And all those. So the little money or whatever plenty money will not be able to buy you plenty food. You'll not be able to enjoy the goodies of life we are enjoying. And those who do not have will either fizzle out. They will look for their children to eat, or their children will look for them to eat because they don't have. In order to survive, that is how it will go. We saw it in chapter 5, 6, Ezekiel mentioned that. So it will happen in these latter days as well. Pestilences. Diseases are beginning to prop up. The diseases, those that are manufacturing in the lab, those that are yet to be manufactured, they will come on board. Coronavirus is just a warning to Israel. The thing hasn't started yet. It's a warning. The beginning of the last day trouble. So that is what is awaiting Israelites wherever they are, and the Gentiles as well. Because as Israelites will be testing their wickedness, it will affect everybody. Now, he said, neither fill their bowels, that is whatever their money they have will not help them or bring in food and whatever that they need, that will fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. Stumbling block. Their whole heart, their whole mind was in the money. Money becomes a stumbling block for them to reach Yahweh. They were not able to reach Yahweh because they were wasting their time pursuing something that does not pay. Jeremiah said it is a system that does not, provide life or provide. Let us read Jeremiah chapter 2. for it to render it properly as it was written. So, something that is useless is what man prefer to do. Jeremiah chapter 2, I read from verse 11. Has a nation changed their mighty ones, which are yet no mighty ones, but my people have changed their glory, which is the name of Yahweh, for that which does not profit. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, says Yahweh. For my people have committed two evils. Hello? My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me. You see what happened? They forsook him, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Something that cannot save them. Whether it is image of whatever or the mammon, the money, cannot help anybody. Rather, he said, be contented with whatever he gives you. He's the one that gives us. But you want to have and have and have and have. We are not mindful of the statement he made, the warning he gave. Overstepping boundaries is a killer. It's a killer. So we have to take that on board. And he went on to say in verse 20, that is where we are coming now. They made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them. The image they made image. Image of detestable. Do you know? It says that not hearing. Hello? It should be that phone. What is it?
It's here. But it's on. It's going on.
Bring it closer. Maybe it's at times it's connection.
No, it's not that connection. It's not connection.
Can you hear now? Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear now?
It's off. That's the thing we just cut off. I don't know what is the problem.
It's because of internet problem. Okay. It's trying. Yeah, it's trying on it now. See what can happen. Sign of not seeing or seeing or hearing.
Unless they talk from that side, they can't know. Hello?
Hello.
Jumbo was there, is he?
I think he left.
He left.
No, he was there before.
He left.
Okay.
All right, let me continue. I was talking, that verse, what is that? Verse 20, to consider, as for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty. But they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things. Therein, therefore, have I set it far from them. Now, they have chosen to do an image. Where do they get the image? The image of the nations surrounding them, the hidden nations, the Gentile nations. And What did Yahweh do? Yahweh says, okay, you have chosen the image of detestable things that you prefer. You prefer the image to Yahweh. So Yahweh said, he set it. Therefore, have I set it far from them. What is he trying to imply here? What is Yahweh trying to imply here? The image they choose, set it far from them. In the land, they will no longer patronize it. It was close to them. It was with them. They were enjoying it in his land. Said, okay, you learned it from somewhere. Nations of the world. It will go there. So they are doing it outside his land. He set it far away from them. So they have to walk down there. They have to go down there and enjoy it. That is to tell you that the world all over is not worshiping Yahweh. They are worshiping the image of the detestable thing, image of jealousy, image of Baal. That's what the world loves to do. That's what they do. So he allowed them to go their way and enjoy whatever they have chosen to enjoy. Verse 22. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Not only did they mess up Jerusalem, which is where he called his secret place. Wherever his temple, for instance, his temple in Jerusalem was messed up. And anywhere they will go in the world, whether they build tabernacle or they build a mansion or they build a auditorium or whatever they call it, at the end of the day, it will be completely messed up. It will produce robbers. Their temples, tabernacles, or house of worship, whatever they are going to do now is going to be for Baal. And who are going to be the priests? Robbers. Are you getting it? Robbers are going to be the priests. If you look at the Gentile world today, anybody that does not serve Yahweh is doing the bidding of Satan that uses the image of Baal. And they are called criminals, robbers, wicked, evil. So, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. So the temple, whatever house of whatever, they are having, robbers. That's what is operating there. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. So we are going to come to this verse 23. We're going to see how anybody that engages in Baal, whatever name this Baal go, because this Baal has taken several names through generations, depending in what nationality, tribe, ethnicity, depending on the tongue of the people, this Baal has taken different names. And the thing is that anybody that dwells bowing to or worshipping Baal end up with bloody, what he called bloody crime, violence, evil, wickedness. Name them. Anything that is virtue of iniquity, wickedness, anything that corrupts. Mischief is in their midst. So, verse 26, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priests. Honor. In fact, verse 27 there is also important. The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. So, at the end, punishment will come to those who completely, literally disobey Yahweh and show themselves a proof of wickedness. Yahweh is going to judge them. Ezekiel chapter 8. Let's look at where we have our message today, or our lesson today. Ezekiel 8. This Ezekiel 8 is talking about idol in the temple. Idol in the temple. Remember here that Yahweh says when they go wherever they are going, they are going to do idol. Idol is going to be a profession. And they're going to have pastors and teachers as robbers. That will be their priests, pastors, teachers, and so on. And they'll be enjoying it with them. Now let's see what Ezekiel saw and how he saw what happened. Here we are going to look at, in describing or trying to open up what they were doing, this idol worship. We are going to see Yahweh grieving for his people that are into this, call it Yahweh's warning here. Yahweh's warning. And punishment that followed the warning. Punishment. And here we are going to see the people. We're going to see the people, call it House of Israel. House of Israel. So it's not only Judah here. House of Israel defiantly worshipping or serving idol. Now, Yahweh is going to tell us how they have been doing this. That this didn't just start with the tribe of Judah, but with the ancient Israel, and how it permeated into the whole house of Israel, and they became wicked against their father. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of my sovereign Yahweh fell thereupon me. Now they were in Babylon when this thing was happening. Ezekiel said he was quietly with the elders. They were said maybe they were chatting, they were talking, and they were looking at issues of life and discussing. And all of a sudden, something happened. Verse 2. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire from the appearance of his loins, even downward, fire, and from his loins, even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. He's describing what he was seeing. That was also stated in Daniel. Daniel also saw the same figure, the same personality that appeared in its brightest color. And was trying to describe who that is. The appearance appeared as fire. This represented Yahweh. Now, is it Yahweh? That is the Yahweh we are talking about here. Yahweh is appearing to him to show him what he is going to see happen to his people. Because while they were in Babylon and he was there with the elders, they were still about 1/3 still left in Babylon, in Jerusalem, or if not 2/3. It was quite majority who were yet to be dispersed. So Yahweh is clearly not going to tell him this. He was saying their end has come. Their end has come. Now he's going to pull them out, going to remove them completely. But here, Yahweh was careful, because before Yahweh will punish anybody, Yahweh will warn the person, tell the person what the person was doing against him. Remember the letters to the 7 churches. Already Yeshua has identified, even to this later age, what his assembly is doing. So Yahweh will tell us what we are doing wrongly, what we are doing, what we are doing well, and at the end of the day, he warned and he will give time. We saw where he gave Israel 390 days, which he represented by 390 years. Each day represented a year, and Judah 40 years. And so it was a long time Yahweh was preaching this. But at this particular point, Yahweh said their sin has so accumulated that he can't wait again. So he will derive the whole house of Israel out of the land. So the man began to see. So he saw Yahweh. And what I want to say about the Yahweh is, you can't Yahweh, Yeshua, you can't pin Yahweh in an image form, in a picture form, or in any format that you may choose, or your head saying he is like this, or I can, picture or draw him. That is why he said you make no image of him whatsoever, because you will be absolutely wrong. You'll be totally out of the way. Who does that is Satan. Satan is a spirit. Can you catch him with image? No. But whatever you draw for Satan or present, that is what he uses to take glory. He hides his name in such images, which people draw, which people take. Yahweh says, I'm not like that. If you draw, you can't get me. And that showcases how he differs from what Satan is doing, which is religion. Religion uses images, objects, and so on and so forth to give glory to their owner. Yahweh says, my people should not go that way. My people should not use images. My people should not, use anything, even a caricature of anything. Don't try it, because that is how Satan represents himself for, to take glory or worship. Now, Yahweh is a consuming fire. Yahweh can appear as fire. Yahweh can appear as brightness of any color at all. And in the book of Revelation, we saw that when he appeared to John. We saw that also when he appeared to Daniel. We saw that, on and on. Even John saw his appearance 2 or 3 times in the book of Revelation. So, and in each of those, he appeared somewhat bit different, that you cannot pin him to a particular likeness of image or picture. Now verse 3 says, and he put forth the form of an hand. So he saw something like fire, appearance of fire, and the brightness of it up, both below and up, where he described them in different formats. But all of a sudden, everything was like transformed to hand. So he began to see something like hand that took him from his head, and he interpreted it as the spirit of that hand, which is Yahweh. So Yahweh will always work with us via his spirit. At the end of the day, what he saw was Yahweh manifesting in his spirit, whether by fire or hand, at the end of the day, everything came to the Spirit. And in the previous chapters, we were hearing that the Spirit spoke to him, the Spirit spoke to him, the Spirit spoke to him. So the Spirit now wants to walk with him. That is to tell you that when we say we hear from the Spirit, it must be from the Father, who speaks to us via the Son. The Son is here as well, Yahshua. Because in Yahweh, Yahshua, this is Yah, that is Yahweh, salvation. Yahweh is salvation. That was the reason Yahweh gave us his name. His name didn't just come for us to, have a name or whatever that we can use to walk or live or worship. It was for a reason. Yahweh don't just call them for calling sake. He called them in order to use it to achieve an objective. Now, moving on, we see that the Spirit has taken control, and he took him up, high up, between heaven and earth. He took him, and he brought him down to Jerusalem, even to the door of the Jerusalem. And the first port of call was within the northern side of the temple of Jerusalem. And what he saw as he moved in was image of jealousy. Image of jealousy. Now you want to ask, what is this image of jealousy? We are going to dwell here a bit, because that is the bone of contention. Up to today, image of jealousy has been the bone of contention. Now, verse 14, let's take it on board with verse 14, because we are going to take it holistically. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahweh's house, which was towards the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. We are going to tie everything together. And that apart, in verse 16, and he brought me, as that wasn't enough, he continued to bring him, move him from one place to the other within the temple. What these fathers were doing. He brought me into the inner court of Yahweh's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, that is 25 men, with their backs towards the temple of Yahweh, and their faces towards east. Said, with their backs towards they were backing the temple of Yahweh, and their faces was towards the east. What were they doing? Worship. And what were they worshiping? Sun towards the east. So, image of jealousy. Here you see sun. And what is that? Sun God. That was what these people were worshiping. The elders of Israel. Now let's move back a bit to where we are looking at verse 5. He said, then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thy eyes now at the way towards the north. So I lifted up my eyes the way towards the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. The same image of jealousy at the entrance. What is this image of jealousy? Image of jealousy. Now, image of jealousy is what Yahweh hates. What Yahweh forbid. What Yahweh warned Israel when they were in the wilderness. As you journey into the land of Canaan, when you get there, these people are worshiping image. Baal, Baalim, different names. This image has different names. In fact, the men name to it is Baal. Baal. Image of jealousy. It's an image. They constructed it. How big, how high it is, we don't know. But different nationalities create, to their own taste and to their own advantage, paint it in their own manner. If they are Buddha, if they are, what do you call this? Hinduism, this religion called Hindu. All of them, they have image. Now, they do it to their own taste. Christianity, they have their own image. They do it to the. Remember, Yahweh said that He's going to take them far away from the land where they are going to worship that image. And they are going to have temple, altars, sanctuary, or call it auditorium, in their altar where they're going to have that image. So Christianity have it first class. They so painted it, they so decorated it, they so made it fanciful, make it look nice with human face, even make it a white man. Painted it white man. Mm-hmm. And everybody has been thinking that white man is the one that owns whatever, in terms of faith. White man is number one. White man must be followed. White man must be listened. Let me tell you the truth. White man learned to worship from the black man, whether they are children of Shem or children of Ham, because civilization first started with the blacks. This one we are worshiping Oyibo man today and all that is because of our headache. What Yahweh is talking about here, because of our disobedience, because of our rebellion, because of our, hey, I have arrived, I can walk my way, who are you to tell me what to do? It's because of that attitude. And Yahweh brought us down to be tail. Why the so-called children of Japheth became head. And today they are the masters ruling the world. That is what is going on. That is what is going on. So, people have said, this image call it, let's say, different names. Different names. Can you guess? Is image. Image that nations love. Image that nations like to embrace. They prefer it to Yahweh. So, can you guess what name they have been calling this image? Image of Mars. Of Mars. M-A-R-S. Image of Mars. Can you guess? Can you think? We see, don't forget, I should have started with Tammuz here. Tammuz. Can you guess? I heard Jupiter. Can you guess? Venus. Can you guess? Somebody help us. Zeus. What others do you know? Diana. While we are mentioning this, if you look at your Bible, if you flip to that page 1208, you will see different names. They call it ancient deities of the Bible. The Canaanites, the Amorites, the Jebusites, and all those, nations surrounding Israel, Babylon, the Sumerians, the Phoenicians, the Assyrians, and so on. They have different names attached to what we are trying to point out here. They are all under song called Baal. That started with Nimrod. So different names are associated to it. Now, most of all the names that we are mentioning here are a bit of recent, which has to do with the people of Greeks. All these other ones did, have to do with Assyrians, the ancient people of, those days, where they copied direct from Nimrod, all the way from Babylon. You can see even Baal, Babylon. They had their Canaanites, Ashtaroth, Astad, Ishtar, and so on. Baal, Canaan, and Phoenicia. Those were used for, depending on, ethnic group or the language or the tongue that was available. Now, Zeus, you see issues, because later they begin to develop these, you see, Isis. That is from here, from Greeks, is entering here to Latin. When Christianity took over, that is Catholicism, RCC, developed Isis. Then when English found letter J as they copied from the French people, they got the J from the French people, they called it Jesus. Isos, yeah. Jesus. So this I was interpreted as J here. And it continued that way. And that is, if you look, Junior, open to me Deuteronomy chapter 4. Read it for me. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Read 28, 29, 30, 28 to 32. Let's hear Yahweh. And another one is Deuteronomy chapter 32, 16 and 17. Something like that. I will go there, I will read that side.
Deuteronomy 4.
28, read from 28.
28. And there ye shall serve mighty ones.
There they shall serve mighty ones. Mm-hmm. He has already told them that when they get into that scattered, the lands where they are going to be scattered, the Gentile world, they are not going to serve him. Mm-hmm. They are going to serve mighty ones. They call it mighty ones. Call it either mighty ones, or you call it God, or you call it Lord, or any of all these ones as they may choose, because all these are just English that came recently. Go on.
The works of man's hands, wood and stone.
The works of man's hands. That's why I call it image. Image of jealousy, wood and stone. He has explained exactly what is happening here. Wood and stone. They are going to carve wood. You see the wooden cross. You see the wooden image of the picture they are bowing to. You see the stone, marble stone. St. Peter Basilican in Roman Catholic, in Orthodox churches, Methodist, Catholic, Anglican, name them. They are all there. Even in the Pentecostals today, Charismatics, and all, you see all these images of things, either in the wood or stone. Go on.
Which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahweh thy Father, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the later days, if thou turn to Yahweh thy Father, and shalt be obedient unto his voice,
Okay. Leave it there. Because all their behavior will roll up to the time the anger of Yahweh will kindle and treat them into great tribulation. And when they begin to cry during that great tribulation, Yahweh says he's going to have compassion on those, not all of them, on those who made attempt to search for him. Because they're going to search for him. These days, you can't find Yahweh by just walking on the street. You just find Yahweh. Or you dream, you wake up, you say you saw him, you walked. You have to seek him. You have to search for him. And most times, as it is in your heart, Yahweh will send somebody to minister to you. So you find him by doing that. We should have started from verse 27 to let us know what befell them. And Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahweh shall lead you. And the Bible is true about this. When Yahweh eventually begin to drive them away, scatter them, they were little in number. Remember where we read in chapter 4 and 5, he divided them into three. The first one third were killed by sword. Then another 1/3 were killed by famine and disease inside Jerusalem in there. And the remaining 1/3 was also removed. Part of it was removed. Huge part of it was removed and killed. And the remnant was also taken away from what remained. Out of that 1/3, that huge number was removed. Remnant was taken away, and he said, put the there is a sign he gave to him. He said he should take that and put it and tie it in his clothes. That a little small number of something that he tied was the number he was talking about that he's going to hit. So majority of even the remnant were crushed. So at the end of the day, small number made it into the Gentile world. But in the later days, so by the time they'll be getting to the later days, bringing them back, they're going to reproduce massively everywhere all over the world. Then, how he treated them, or how they treated him when they were in the land, is how they are going to treat him in this latter day, because all of them will forget him, forsake him, and follow the Gentile way. Then he's going to reduce them 1/3. He's going to crush the same 1/3. The balance that is going to remain, he's going to sift them, and only little number will follow. But I tell that little number is a massive number. But it will not. It can be compared with the big, large number that is going to crush. So it's going to happen to them. Deuteronomy chapter 32, 16 to 27. Where is it? Deuteronomy 32 said, they provoked him to jealousy. Did you hear that? Who did that? Israel provoked it to jealousy. With what? He is going to tell us with what. With strange mighty ones. Strange mighty ones here means different nature of this mighty one. He's going to name what it is. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, because as they worship Baal, remember Satan takes glory through Baal, through all those images, devils. Not to Yahweh, to mighty ones they sacrificed, whom they knew not. He said, don't know all these things they do, because they see it, or they see all these mighty ones, Baal, Baalim, and all this stuff, glamorous. They see it, see Jesus today, see their Easter celebration, see their Christmas celebration, see everything. It's glamorous. They love it. When Yahweh called, they say, forget it. We have a shining star. Let us go and embrace it. To new mighty ones that come newly up, whom your fathers feared not, whom your fathers did not worship. So, who are the fathers? The patriarchs. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel, David, and so on and so forth. Yahshua. They didn't worship all those, but they choose to go after them. So, what did they do? Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful. You didn't mind. You didn't care. You were careless and hast forgotten Yahweh that formed thee. Who did they prefer? They prefer Baal. Prefer Baal. Yahweh that formed them was nothing to them. So what did Yahweh do? And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children whom is no faith. This is about us, about this latter age, about this time. It was written in the wilderness. They never entered the land at that time. They never entered the land promised that flow with milk and honey. They never entered there. Then what we are reading in Ezekiel was what they were playing out. He sacked them. And in this letter, they said they will continue doing it until, even Jerusalem, they call the Israelites country today. Yahshua said that 70 AD, Jerusalem will fall. The Gentiles will occupy it and bring their image of jealousy there. Worshipping, up to today, they are calling God and Lord. Is it not the image of jealousy? That is what they are worshipping. So they will trample it until the time he will return to clear them away. Luke chapter 21. If you look from, I think, verses 20, 21 to 24, you read it about that. So, don't think you are in a new era, in a new civilized Christian world that no Yahweh prepares you from grace to faith. You jump and embrace and kiss Yahshua in heaven, then you are extraordinarily mad. They are demon servers, worshippers. They bow to Baal, image of jealousy. They don't know him. Because that is the Gentile religious leaders or leader that they are bound to. The issues that turn to Jesus. Because they then keep on changing. From Baal, sun god, up to this moment. So let's continue to trace what Ezekiel saw and what Ezekiel was given to interpret. This image has been noted through cultures and religious organizations that spread across the world. Baal Zebub. I don't know whether you've heard about that. Yahshua, they accuse Yahshua of using the power of Baal Zebub to do what? To heal, to deliver, to cast out devils and demons and all. That was what the Pharisees, who were even worshipping this image of jealousy, they turned to him and said, why your own is too much? Is because you are using the power of Satan. They were the people worshipping Satan. Yahshua never even begin to chase them, accuse them and all that. But they were the one finding fault. Satan will look at you and call you Satan. And if you are not careful, you won't know who is Satan again. Because by the time you put that label, everybody will be looking at you as Satan. And he that is Satan, he will hide himself. So that is how he has been colored himself all through. So this Beelzebub or Beelzebub, Baal Zebub, Baal, that is the Baal Zebub, or Baal Zebul, whichever one. So it is called God of Flies. God of Flies. That is the interpretation. They're everywhere. Everywhere. You know how fly behaves. Now, you have Baal Zebub, Baal Zebub, Baal Zebul. Baal Zebul is different from Baal. Baal Zebul, Zebul is god of dung. The Israelites and the interpretation that is given to that is god of dung, god of shit. Now, at times they call it Adonis. Adonis, remember Adonai? Where they catch their name. I don't know whether they knew what they were doing. And it's called the God of Dead. God of Dead. Because they say it's majestic and was sitting like a dead fellow. And yes, they were worshipping it. And they were worshipping that which they said it looks like dead fellow. Okay, this image was preferred by Israelites. So loved. That's what Jeremiah is all about describing since. So loved, they so cherish it, no matter what the prophets say, no matter what the messengers of Yahweh will warn them, they were wasting their time. In fact, they will threaten you and they will kill you. If you pursue them too much, they will say your own is too much. We know better than you. What you are worshiping is better than whatever you are worshiping. They abandoned. That's why Yahweh was talking about forsaking him. They forsook him. Forsake him. For this Baal Zebub. Baal Zebub. Terrible. Terrible. Now, Adonis, straight away, read for me Leviticus 19, 27 to 28. While I open Deuteronomy 14, verse 9. Deuteronomy 14, verse 9. Leviticus 19, 27 to 28. I read Deuteronomy 14, 9. Are you there?
Leviticus 19, 27.
Leviticus 19, 27 to 28.
19, 27 to 28. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mere the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not take any cutting in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. 29. Do not prostrate.
27 to 28. That's all right. So that is the image. And why? Because they give allegiance, they do everything to honor the dead, the God of the dead. So when somebody dies, in order to mark and to honor that dead, they shave their head, they cut their beard, one portion of their beard, to show that the dead is honored. I read the Deuteronomy 14, verse 9. These ye shall eat of all These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall ye eat. All right. That did not quite give me what I was looking for there. That was not exactly what I was looking for. But the reference that brought that out is simply telling us whatever Yahweh forbids, whatever Yahweh says is abomination, because it's like a swine. Do not eat, do not touch dead carcasses. If you look at verse 8, and the swine, because it divides the hoof, yet cheweth not the cord, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. I think that gave us a bit closer meaning to what I'm trying to point out. Anything that Yahweh says is unclean is unclean. To go after Baal is unclean. To go after is pollution. And the consequence is Yahweh's wrath. We are going to see that play out here. Consequence is Yahweh's. So, the dead should not be honored. This idol is considered as dead. Doesn't talk, doesn't move, doesn't. An image. How can you worship an image? Something that does not profit, yet people push themselves to it. And they always says it's murderous and wicked. Nimrod started it all. Sun god he worshipped, called Baal, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Zeus, Isus, Jesus, Latin, that I was removed and they call it Jesus. They all started with all these Medes and Persia, Greeks, down to Egypt, down to Roman Catholic of Roman Empire. Now, the word Adonis in Hebrew, they coined it Adonai, and they shifted it later to Jehovah, traditional name. Exodus chapter 6 verse 3 tells us exactly what we've been talking about here. Now something played out in the days when they were in Egypt. Moses had been called to go and set Israel free. Israel, you are about to go home. But you don't go home without Yahshua. Yahweh is salvation. You have to go with salvation. Salvation is what Yahweh want to accomplish. Deliverance. Deliverance. So, salvation, deliverance equal to Yahweh. Yahweh equal to, by the name he gave to the Son, Yahweh is salvation. So they need salvation. However, another name for Yahshua is salvation. So that is what they needed. Now look at what happened. Exodus chapter 6. If you look at verse 2 and 3, it says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses and said unto him, I am what? Yahweh. He told him who he is. I am. In fact, before he began to, though he has told him in verse chapter 3, 15, verse 14, 15, he has told him in that Exodus that he is Yahweh. And that is his name, memorial name, a name forever. He's going to be known by Israelites and people of the world by that name. That was a command. It's a memorial name. That's what he told him. Now in verse 3, he said, I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of, that is title, by the name, the title name of what? There, you see how they put L. Where did that L come? L is equal to might, or mighty. And Bible have been talking about mighty one. Mighty one. Who is mighty one? God. Mighty one. If you go to Strong's dictionary, Hebrew dictionary, it will tell you that L is mighty. Mighty one, which is described as God. At times they call it Elohim. Elohim, which is God. Now, look at what is playing out here. Now, inside there, you see Shaddai. That is the title name that Yahweh was presenting to Moses. Now, this title name is what Moses is going to give to Israel. Why? Here, this title name is Almighty. They were trying to copy. This. And the Canaanites or the nations of the world that go with Elohim or El, mighty, we are trying to associate themselves with Yahweh's name, so that at the end of the day, the whole picture everything will sound mighty. But Yahweh said to Moses, I'm almighty. Now what they do is either they prefix it or they suffix it. Here you can see that El is the prefix of Shaddai. At the same time, El in Strong's dictionary, reference number 410, is different from Shaddai, which is referenced 7 what? 7. My glasses is poor here, I can catch it. Now read that Shaddai, the reference number. So they have two different numbers, telling us that there are two different names, showcasing different knowledge there. El is mighty. Shaddai is almighty. And Yahweh bears almighty because he is all is all. In him everything subsists. In him everything is made. In him everything holds. He is the commander-in-chief. He is the captain of all captains. He is the maker, the creator, almighty, all-powerful. All. It's about power. Anywhere you see Shaddai, is talking about power. It's talking about the almightiness of the creator. And that is associated with Yahweh. Salvation that Israel needs. Israel needs salvation and the power that follows their salvation. This power will go before them to grant them salvation. That is the meaning of the name and title Yahweh gave to his people, even to this last day. Because there is nothing else mankind need other than the mightiness of Yahweh and salvation, for them to be rescued from the hands of Satan, deliverance from the hands of Satan. That's one human being. That's why name of Yahweh and his people has meaning. The names that Yahweh gives to his people has got meaning attached to them. They don't just bear name. Yahweh himself, he doesn't give us name or title without meaning. To the Gentile world, at times it doesn't even, they answer wood, they answer stone, they answer cockroach, they answer whatever. I mean, it doesn't concern them. They don't have any understanding. They don't have, anything attached to it. They don't care. Whatever they are called, they're okay by that. That's the Gentile world. That is how they operate. Said, but by my name, Yahweh, was I not known to them. There is possibility that what Yahweh is saying here to Moses is that the power behind Yahweh, the people of old don't know. The salvation name attached to it, but they knew him as the Almighty. But they don't know him as the Savior, their salvation. Because they don't have any need to that. They didn't need. I mean, there was no confrontation, there was no captivity they were into, there was no issue that will warrant that. But in the time of Moses, they were in captivity, they needed deliverance. As we need deliverance today. And that's why Yeshua said, in fact, Acts 4, 10 and 11, 12, did tell us that Yeshua is that name, the only name given to us by which we'll be saved in these latter days, as it was said in the days of old about Joel chapter 2:32. That is the name that anyone that will call upon that name in the latter days shall be saved. So that is what we need. That is what is required. Now, if you have King James, New King James translation, I urge you to go to page 6. Page 6. Let me read what is written there. They confessed. It is open confession. When I read it, I said, this is open confession. Now, let me read what I made out of that. Elohim, or Adonai, which they deduced later, became the popular name or title amongst Israelites who copied or who took the names of the Gentiles because they were warned, but they never heeded, they never listened, they took it and went on. Originally, this is the image of jealousy referred to as the Lord or God. New King James Version acknowledged that Yahweh is the original Hebrew name for Yahweh. And they translated it, not even transliterated, they translated it. That means they just, whatever popped in their head, they say, let us use it to replace or change whatever the original in the Bible, in the Torah, in what Yahweh gave to them in the scroll. So it was a change. Translation, is something that you can use to fix or to replace or to, in order to look as if, but it doesn't look alike. It doesn't resemble. It doesn't translate. It doesn't catch the picture by, if it is transliteration, at least the sound will be a bit similar. There is no similarity. Yahweh and the Lord is million miles away, both in the meaning and in the word itself, the wording. Because if it is transliteration, it will come close. So there is no transliteration there. They said it was translated. They just translated it. They just picked the Lord, dump it on Yahweh, and they remove Yahweh and keep the Lord. And that was how we see it in the Bible. Listen to them. Now what they did was in all that they were doing, the Lord which they choose, they capitalized it, or God said they capitalized it. And that is what went viral in the whole of King James. Now let me read what they wrote in the New King James translation, the Supergiant print edition, page 6 of 1982. It reads, the covenant name of God in the Old Testament, listen to what they wrote, represented by the Hebrew consonants YHWH. Listen to them all. Now, they said it is the Hebrew consonant of YH. What did they do with it? Listen to them. It's translated to what? To Lord. Did you hear that? That is what they did. Or God. Somebody who is doubting. Or God. They are saying it. That is, they translated it using capital letters. So they use capital letters. So when you see it in the Bible, you say, if it is capitalized, it is for the one in heaven, up there. If it is lowercase, it is either wood, stone. There is no differentiation. They made it up to look as if Lord in capital is Yahweh. It was an automatic change, removing his name. They did it for a purpose. So that Baal will take the name there. Now, they translated Lord or God using capital letters as it has been throughout the history of the King James Bible. Did you hear that? That is their tradition right from the time King James Bible started. Whether the King James Old or the King James New Living, the new translation. In this edition, the capitalized form is also used wherever the consonant name is quoted in the New Testament. Did you hear that? Wherever the consonant name, this is the consonant name of Yahweh, of our Father. So wherever it is used, this Lord replaced it. Look at what they did to us. They wrote it. This is the giant print. They wrote it. This is what they did to us. If you go to that place, you read it yourself. So when somebody is asking you this and that, Just open that place and show it to them. What they did to us, they cut off the name of our father. When the prophets are saying they changed it, they replaced it, and somebody is saying, well, but what we see in the Bible, that is what you see, because that is what they did. Yeah, no, there's no argument. Image of jealousy. Image of jealousy is called great abominations. And is committed, this great abomination is committed by the house of Israel. They all committed it. And up to today, they are still committing it. They are still committing it. It is still ongoing. From the door of the temple down to the inner portion of the temple at the even altar, you see that image. Everywhere you go today, that image is standing. Do not be deceived by the glamour, by the wonder. You see, when they are praising this image, their music sounds as if they are in heaven already. That is what attracts Israel. That's what keeps Israel. And the robbery that goes on there. Robbery. Did you hear that their priests and their pastors are going to be the chief robbers? That's what goes on there. So, brethren, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? Joel chapter 2, verse 17. Let the priests, the ministers of Yahweh, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Yahweh, and give not thy inheritance, thy heritage to reproach, that the hidden should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their Yahweh? Ezekiel chapter 8 verse 16, referring to that image of the sun that they worshipped and are still worshipping. So, in these latter days, everybody is going to cry, save us, help us. Because the Gentile is going to pound and pound and pound and pound. They are serving their idols. They are serving their heart is going to turn against them, Israelites, and they are going to cry and they're going to beg Yahweh. And Yeshua said, until you cry that cry, this is when it will happen. And they will say, Yahweh, deliver your people. These people say, we don't have you. So Israel will wake up to discover their Yahweh. Bowing or worshipping of Baal or image of jealousy or the Lord leads to committing bloody crime, violence as they worship. The worshippers of Baal provoke Yahweh to anger. Ezekiel chapter 7:23, Ezekiel chapter 8:17, Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 9. This is worst sin. It is called great abomination. It is called wicked abominations, which provokes Yahweh to anger and causes Yahweh to drive his people far from him. And that's why he says, I will stay away and watch them. It causes Yahweh to remove himself from his people. It's because of this great abomination. Great tribulation will sweep the entire world. Both Israelites and the Gentiles will be affected. Revelation chapter 2:18, Revelation chapter 3:8, verse also 10, talk about the great tribulation. And those, verse 8 and 3 of chapter 3 says, Yahweh will save, Yahweh will deliver, Yahweh will protect those who serve him. Because when the flood, the test of this earth, the great tribulation will hit the ground, only those that know his name and only those that keep the covenants, the commandments will be delivered. He will save them. Name refers to Yahweh. That is these people never had anything to do with the image of the jealousy. Yahweh is jealous about that image. Jealous. Why would you leave Yahweh and serve wood and stone? Yahweh will cut off such people. And listen to what he said. The lands are full of blood. Those who serve this image of jealousy, they are criminals. They cause bloodshed. They cause violence. The lands are full of blood, and the cities full of perversiveness. They say Yahweh has forsaken the earth, and Yahweh sees not. Yahweh doesn't see. Yahweh doesn't do whatever you like. As the consequences will come, Yahweh says he will not spare them, neither will he have mercy, but will recompense their way upon their head. Chapter 9, Ezekiel chapter 9, 9 to 11. Judgment is coming. Yahweh marks his people when his anger will be unleashed. All his people would have been marked for him to save them, because they worship him in spirit and in truth, because they know his name, because they call him and keep his commandments and follow what his instructions he led to them. Yahweh will destroy all those who serve and worship the image of jealousy, which is the like of Jesus, Lord, God, that are put in the form of image which they serve. Yahweh set the example with the ancient Israel. Yahweh showcased the example. Chapter 9. I'm going to just do a brief summary of that chapter 9 because there's no time. Chapter 9 tells us what happened, how Yahweh showcased this fight. Yahweh says to his angel, go mark the people that have known my name and served me by my name, and has kept my covenant commandments, has kept it. So they were marked out. Now he said, angels, go destroy all those who never bow to him, but we are bound to the image of jealousy. We are bound to idols, gods. Go and destroy them. And they began to destroy, they began to kill. Oh, Ezekiel looked and said, Yahweh, would you not spare? Would you not have mercy? Would you destroy the whole house of Israel? Do you know what Yahweh answered him? Yahweh is a merciful Yahweh. He told Moses, I am a merciful Yahweh. I will show mercy to whom I will show mercy. I will spare whom I will spare. I will deliver those whom I will deliver. Who are those? Those that know his name, those that serve him, those that keep his word, he will deliver them. Amen. But to those that hate him, who are those that hate him? He called them the wicked. They are those that do not keep his commandments. Oh, yeah. So he's going to crush them. He's going to exterminate them. So he said, don't worry, Ezekiel, I'm dealing with those who are wicked against me. I want to remove them. And Yahweh says, I read from verse 8. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left. Ezekiel said as he was watching, because this was a spiritual thing, he was seeing it happen. And it's going to happen in these latter days. Yahweh will almost wipe his people out. That I fell upon my face and cried and said, my sovereign Yahweh, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great. See how Yahweh described it? Exceeding great. And the land is full of blood. That is what is happening today. Everywhere. Blood, shedding of blood. If in a day this world doesn't record blood, they haven't woken up. And the city full of perversiveness. For they say Yahweh has forsaken the earth. That's what they're saying. Yahweh has forsaken the earth. And Yahweh sees not. See the reply of Yahweh to Ezekiel. That is what Yahweh. In these latter days, people will pray and pray and pray. Yahweh will say, until my anger achieves his objective to destroy the wicked, those who hate him, he said he will not subpedal. He will not allow his anger to abate until it achieves the purpose. And as for me also, my eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen and had the inkhorn by his side reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. So, Yahweh is coming with vengeance in these last days. The world is inching and moving towards the time of the wrath of Yahweh. But great tribulation will come first. Yahweh will save or spare his people, those who did not forsake his name and his word for Baal. Revelation 3:8 verse 10, John chapter 14 verse 15, Acts 14:27, 2 Corinthians 2:12, Colossians 4 verse 3, Jeremiah 23:27, showcase that those who worship Baal will be cleared away, will be destroyed. Psalm 145 verse 20, and it did say that all the wicked who serve the image of jealousy, the Baal, shall be destroyed, but those who serve Yahweh shall be saved. Only those who paid attention to what his messengers are crying out today, like Ezekiel, like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Amos, Hosea, and so on. Hosea said, because they lost his name, they forsake his name, they abandoned his name, they did not put it in their heart. As a result, he's going to curse them. He said he has already cursed them. Already. That is what Ezekiel is reporting here. That is what even Yeshua said in Revelation chapter 3 verse 8 and 10. That those who call his name, those who did not forget his name, those who did not forsake his name and his commandment, they are saved. But those who said no to him, they're already gone. They'll be swept away. That's what Malachi said. All of them are saying the same thing. Whether it's Amos, all of them are saying the same thing. Then what are we doing? All this is, because Israel forsook Yahweh. If Israel had kept their way, served Yahweh, if Israel had kept to the word of Yahweh, it wouldn't have reached to the point of the world experiencing great tribulation. Who is the cause? Israel is the cause. Because what Israel would have been doing is going to the Gentile nations to teach them, to educate them, to bring them to Yahweh and introduce them, make the earth to flow with the glory of Yahweh, and the name of Yahweh would have been everywhere. Then those who reject, we know now, Yahweh will say, okay, the Gentile world rejected, those who reject, they will go to dust. But Israel joined them. At the end of the day, the judgment will cut across everybody. Everybody. Those who have said no. May Yahweh help us, give us ears, give us understanding, power us to keep to his word, to his instruction, from Genesis to Revelation. All of them are the content of the covenant that he gave to us. If we obey, we will escape. If we disobey, then there will be trouble. Do we want trouble? No. Now that we know what he's calling us to do, pay attention to his word. Pay attention to his commandments. How do you pay attention? Every time, every now and then, love his word. If you don't love his word, you will not read it. If you don't read it, you will not know. Because it's a spirit. The spirit of Yeshua that is in the world now will have a relationship with you, will bind itself in you, and that love will be so ignited with all the influence of the spirit guiding you. Then the love will be superb. The love of Yeshua, the love of Yahweh, and that is how you have a one-on-one relationship with Yahweh. That is how, indeed, you will know how to run away, how to escape. Because he said, if you don't watch, if you don't pray, if you don't draw near, you'll not be able to escape and to stand before him when the trouble will start. He's calling us to do so. to embrace him through his word, and he will deliver us. May he deliver us. May he keep us. May we escape all the dangers that are being plotted, being planned. Remember the kings of the world, the globalists that are not sleeping, they are going to be the vessel, the agents that are going to carry all these things out. And when they begin to execute it, don't blame Yahweh. Yahweh is not going to step into this earth to execute it. He's going to use all these forces. There are forces. He's going to use them. And by the time he's going to get to loss of control, Yahshua will come back to save those who keep his name and keep his commandments. That is what he's calling us to do. His name and the commandments he gave to us. Where is it? His word. His name and his word. Where is it? Keep it, do it, and it shall be well with you. May Yahweh bless you. May he keep you. May he continue to make you strong. Hallelujah.